Hi, I'm Ashley Nicole Black, and I am delighted to be hosting the Samuel J. Heyman Service to America Medals, brought to you by the Partnership for Public Service. People say the Sammys are like the Oscars of public service, and I do not disagree, because this is my first time at either of them. But I've been to a lot of other award shows, and this one definitely has all the most important parts. Glamorous host? Check. Prestigious presenters? Also check. Wildly impressive gift bags for everyone? That's another check. Everyone's getting a tote bag full of flat screen TVs and $900 face cream, right? What do you mean there's no gift bags in public service? Apparently there was an issue with the gift bags. But we do have the most important element, a show full of truly amazing honorees. This year's honorees come from all over the government, from VA to the EPA to NASA, even the CIA. What? There's no winner from the CIA this year? I mean, that's crazy. There had to be at least one award-winning super spy. I see them on TV all the time. Oh, those shows are not real. Okay. I'm learning a lot today. But the one thing I know for sure is that we are celebrating truly remarkable people. The government is full of brilliant folks, our friends, neighbors, even members of our family, who spend their lives working for the good of people they may never meet, people like you and me. We all benefit tremendously from the work our public servants do, and so rarely get an opportunity to thank them for it, which is why the CMEs are so special. This is our chance to recognize these exceptional government employees and say, thank you. We see you, we love you, and we need you. I mean, never be too proud to tell a public servant that you love them. After everything they do for us, the least we could do is give them some vulnerability. The winners of this year's Sammys are all incredible people, and I can't wait for you to hear their stories. But I wish we also had time to acknowledge every nominee and every single member of all the teams, to hear about all the life-saving breakthroughs and innovations from such a wide variety of government agencies. Unfortunately, that is out of the question. It would take all day, and I have plans later. But it was important to me to celebrate our amazing public servants. And not just because every time I get my nails done, someone tries to drag me into a post office assuming I work there. Yeah, I know I look like the queens who actually run our government, but I don't. The only thing I run is my mouth. If I've learned anything from years of watching C-SPAN, and yes, I am single, why do you ask? It's that it can be difficult to get things done in the federal government. Tonight, we're going to meet a bunch of people who did exactly that and then some. By the end of tonight, you'll probably be thinking, oh my gosh, how did all of these amazing people find all these other amazing people to work with? And also, will Ashley tell me who does her hair because I'm obsessed with it? And the answer is no, I won't. I have to keep some things for me. But the answer to that other question is public service. Public service attracts the best people because it attracts people looking to change the world, not just one industry or their own bank account. The best and the brightest in every field, working to improve the lives of people they'll probably never even meet. That's not just selfless, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. You want flawless skin? Get into government work. I mean, it won't change your skin. You should drink more water for that, but it will make you glow with the light of doing meaningful, impactful work and earning our gratitude. So before I turn this show over to the first presenters, I want to take this opportunity to personally say thank you to all of our finalists and winners. The work you've done makes me proud to be an American and proud of the way that we take care of each other. Now, without any further ado, please welcome our first presenter from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend and Reboot, Rachel Bloom.
I love musical theater, and not just for the obvious reasons. Sure, the dancing and singing are wonderful. I love having emotions sung right into my face. They never have to guess what anyone is feeling. But the real reason I love musical theater is all the teamwork that goes into making it behind the scenes. You can't pull off any big production without a lot of people, many of whom the audience never sees. But they're all working hard to make sure every spotlight hits its mark and each note is in harmony. And the same is true for government work, and the winners of this award are shining examples of that. which is why I'm so pleased to present the COVID-19 Response Medal to Doctors Anita Patel, Amanda Cohn, and David Fitter.
Amanda, David, and Anita, and the more than 1,500 staff who served on the vaccine task force did the extraordinary work of making sure COVID-19 vaccines were distributed equitably and efficiently, while communicating their importance to the public, healthcare providers, community workers, and pharmacies.
It was a huge undertaking that required so many different components beyond just public health to come together. When we were starting this mission, it was very clear that what we had in place wasn't going to be able to meet what needed to get done. We needed to redo the entire US distribution system, redo the entire data infrastructure, reassess how we make vaccines available across the United States and the partners that we bring to bear, how public health operates, and really have a full understanding of all these moving pieces and parts. All these partners came together to be able to execute.
When people talk about how remarkable the COVID-19 vaccine journey was, usually they're talking about how quickly the vaccine was developed. But what about how quickly the shot got into people's arms? As of summer 2022, over 570 million COVID-19 vaccine doses have been administered in the United States alone. That was a huge undertaking. It could never have been done without these three special people and their combined experience in their respective fields.
For the first time ever, we were trying to vaccinate the entire US population. Then we needed to figure out who was it that we wanted to get vaccinated based on risk and the amount of supply that we had. So Amanda had a puzzle piece and a work stream. David had a work stream. The front end, the distribution component, the data infrastructure, the partnerships, like all of these pieces had to work together in order for us to be able to do this work. With over 90% of the population living within a 5-mile radius of a pharmacy, we suddenly were able to make vaccines super accessible to the average person. Our pharmacy partners then leaned in and partnered with public health to come up with solutions to decrease barriers to access, like transportation, creating ride-share opportunities, partnering with public health to, again, encourage people to come into the community setting of a pharmacy.
Every team needs its leaders. On that count, Dr. Fitter, Dr. Patel, and Dr. Cohn distinguished themselves. They represent the best the CDC COVID-19 Vaccine Task Force has to offer. Because of the collective efforts of today's honorees, vaccines have been equitably distributed far and wide to communities hardest hit by COVID. This has been challenging work. This has been life-saving work.
To me, the ideal workplace is somewhere your talents are recognized and encouraged to flourish. Somewhere you can take what it is you do well and see how far you can go with it. Through public service, Anita, Amanda, and David were able to do that and see their work save the lives of countless people.
Amanda, David, and Anita, you and your teams represent the best of the CDC and the US government. Thanks to the work of the task force, hundreds of millions of COVID-19 vaccine doses have been administered in the United States, the largest vaccine effort in the nation's history, ultimately saving hundreds of thousands of lives.
If you got your COVID-19 vaccine at a pharmacy like me, it's because of the work Anita Patel did. I knew when to get my vaccine and when to get my booster because of Amanda Cohn's work. My dose had been safely transported and stored at the correct temperature because of the work David Fitter did. So personally, I want to say thank you so much for all of your work and congratulations on this.
The most humbling thing I've ever done in my career, to be part of something so much bigger than me, so much bigger than public health. And we did this together. This was an all of community, all of government, all of nation response. At the end of the day, everyone came together to ensure that we made vaccines available quickly.
Congratulations on winning the COVID-19 Response Award. We know how hard you work and how much you deserve every bit of recognition for it. We are so proud of you for everything that you've done for yourselves and for all of us.
Next up is a rising star of public service. Here's the Emerging Leaders Award.
People say that youth is wasted on the young, but those people are old and boring. or they're young and boring and reading too many inspirational quotes on Instagram. The point is, it's never too early to take advantage of the time and opportunities you've been given, which is why I'm honored to present this year's Emerging Leaders Medal to Krista Kinnard.
So I lead emerging technology for the Department of Labor. It's a new department. It was created for me when I came into the role. And really the idea is to create a safe and structured environment to be able to explore how new and innovative technologies can help solve Department of Labor business challenges.
As the Chief of Emerging Technologies, Krista Kinnard revitalized the entire administrative system for the Department of Labor. Now, I know that doesn't sound like the sexiest work in the world, but the department was dealing with an incredible amount of paperwork that took hundreds of hours to process. And by finding a way to free up that time, the department could spend more energy actually helping people. So, yes, it's still not sexy, but it is important. And you know what? Most important things are not sexy.
Krista, she has a unique talent to analyze a problem and marry it up with existing emerging technology. She introduced artificial intelligence and machine learning, which is crucial to what we're trying to do as a department to better utilize our data for decision making.
So anyone who works in government knows that procurement, how the government buys things, is a big piece of government work. It's not glamorous, and it's definitely not what the individual citizens of this country are thinking about, but it does affect them. The faster we buy this piece of technology, the faster the technology gets implemented, the faster the person who's applying for unemployment insurance or any other kind of program is able to receive that benefit.
But the real magic of Krista's work isn't just in developing systems and installing AI. I mean, we all have Siri in our pockets right now. But not many people can integrate new technologies into a government office and make the employees there actually feel comfortable and confident using them. Krista was able to do just that.
Being a part of government for me is really about changing the world I live in. I know that the work that I do affects my neighbors, it affects my community, it affects my family. And when I look to my son, he's gonna grow up as a digital native. He needs government to be able to meet him where he's at. And so that means bringing innovation, bringing the same technology that the private sector uses to him through government.
What a breath of fresh air Krista has been, and how she really gets people excited about new technology and the way it can change the federal government that ultimately serves the American people.
Public service is incredibly important to me. These are hard problems we're trying to solve, and there's no right answer. I mean, how do you create a government service that is accessible to everybody? And at the end, I'm not building new technology for the sake of it. I'm building new technology to help federal employees do their job better.
Krista, we are also proud of you, and we are grateful for the work that you have done to earn this honor. You represent the best of the Department of Labor and Public Service, and I'm proud to work alongside you.
Congratulations to this year's nominees and winners. Your devotion to public service is essential to our democracy and to the security, health, and well-being of the American people. As you work with empathy and ingenuity, you touch the lives of millions of people who you will never meet. On behalf of all Americans, thank you for your extraordinary service.
The Partnership for Public Service is an organization devoted to the belief that a better government makes a stronger democracy. As a nonpartisan nonprofit, we value working together, not taking sides, and using our resources wisely. We prepare new administrations to be ready to govern on day one. We equip government leaders with the tools they need to be successful stewards of the public good. And we create communities of action across the government and across sectors to solve our country's biggest problems. Everyone in this country shares the same government, but for too long, we have allowed trust in federal institutions to erode, which threatens that important common ground. The public often believes the government is politicians in Washington, not those working as career public servants. But the reality is that there are more than 2 million career federal employees who live and work in communities all across America, 85% of them outside the DC area. whose mission is to serve on behalf of us all. It's no surprise that people might not trust the federal government when the public knows very little about what federal employees do to address our problems. And that's where we come in, by highlighting these individuals and teams who make real progress on issues that we all care about, and in doing so, make all of our lives a little bit better. These awards recognize people who achieve the remarkable, often in the most difficult of circumstances. Our winners represent everything that is great about the career federal workforce. Through the Sammys, we aim to help the people see government in a different light, and to help those who work in government know how much their efforts are appreciated. Public servants don't take on these jobs for fame or fortune. They take them to help our nation become safer, more prosperous, healthier, and more equitable. Our founder, Samuel J. Heyman, believed in the power of good government and the need to nurture it by building its capacity and inspiring a new generation to serve. And we're committed to that vision. I want to thank all of the supporters who make the Sammys possible, including our premier sponsor, Ronnie Heyman and family, our national sponsors, Bloomberg Philanthropies, Jennifer and David Millstone, Standard Industries, Patty and George Weldy, and our capital sponsors, Tom and Andy Bernstein, Carina Endowment Fund, Conant Leadership, Google, Lockheed Martin. Nominations are now open for the 2023 Sammys. If you're inspired by tonight's stories, help us tell the next round by nominating a deserving federal employee today.
Our Sammys winners. Each one of you has put service above self. But even as I congratulate the Sammys class of 2022, I offer my profound gratitude for all that you have accomplished to make our lives better in myriad ways, providing solutions to problems and to crises that only the awesome federal government can possibly tackle. Thank you, and may you go from strain to strain.
To present the award for Security, Safety, and International Affairs, we knew we needed someone with some experience in the field, or at least some experience acting like they have experience in the field. From CBS's SEAL team and NCIS New Orleans, please welcome Tony Trucks.
If you like superhero movies, you are going to love this story because it's basically what it is, except it's real life. I'm talking high stakes, terrible odds, and more than anything, amazing teamwork that ends up saving thousands of lives. Personally, there's nothing that I like more than a team of incredible heroes who work together to save the day, which is why I am so thrilled to present this year's Safety, Security, and International Affairs Medal to a team of people who are all able to do just that. Hillary Ingraham, Holly Herrera, Kira Burdiner, and the Operation Allies Welcome Resettlement Team. When the Afghan government fell and the Taliban took over in the summer of 2021, there were tens of thousands of Afghan citizens who suddenly needed to be relocated very quickly, or else face prison or even death. Amazingly, in just 10 days, Hillary, Holly, Kira, and the Operation Allies Welcome Resettlement Team were able to create a program to get it done.
We all saw on TV what was happening in Kabul and the evacuations and the people trying frantically to get out of the country. We had to try and figure out how we could do something because my heart goes out to Afghans and refugees around the world.
All of a sudden, we had almost 70,000 Afghans who were in the United States, and we needed to work to try to help them get to where they ultimately wanted to go and communities that would be best placed to serve them.
We also knew from our experience resettling Afghans before Operation Allies Welcome that there are a handful of communities that are very popular. Places like Sacramento, places like Northern Virginia, several communities in Texas, and we couldn't send tens of thousands of people to 5 cities in 4.5 months. It took a lot of creativity in terms of thinking, all right, we have to do this differently. We have to pivot how we place people in a way that we are being responsive not just to the capacity of the community, but also to the needs of these families.
When Taliban first took control over Afghanistan, I was a school student, and I loved going to school. I loved learning. I loved interacting with my classmates, as many teenagers do. And when Taliban took over Afghanistan, they closed girls' schools, and all my dreams shattered. And it wasn't safe for me to stay in Afghanistan anymore.
People had been thrust into a devastating and unimaginable situation, and our honorees knew that they couldn't let them down. They had to act fast. But in the years before the crisis, funding for resettling refugees had been significantly reduced, and about 1/3 of the country's resettlement offices had been closed. Basically, the old systems were not going to save the day, so a new team arose. See? I told you this is going to feel like a superhero movie.
There was no way we could have resettled over 72,000 people in fewer than 5 months with the existing infrastructure that we had. It just was not possible.
We knew we needed to resettle around 4,000 Afghans per week. That was the pace that we needed to get up to. We knew we had no way to do that, and if we just resettled 4,000 a week, based on whoever was most ready, we would start to inundate local communities.
I mean, sometimes people overuse the expression that you're building the plane while you fly it, but we said that all the time. But you can imagine when you have 70,000 Afghans going to communities across the country, you need to ensure that you have the right capacity in the community, that the schools are equipped to serve the children, that you have the necessary health department capacity. And housing was probably our #1 challenge. And so we were really trying to determine how we could develop the resources, the tools, the processes, the policies, the procedures, all at the same time, very quickly.
Hillary, Holly, Kiara, and their team found unconventional solutions because they had to. The old solutions not only didn't work, they weren't even there anymore. But instead of taking no for an answer, they asked different questions.
Thanks to Hillary, Holly, Kiara, and their team, more than 72,000 Afghans were resettled in communities across America in just 5 months. Look at what all their hard work has made possible. Right now, across the United States, Afghans are settling into new homes. Kids are getting ready to start school. Adults are beginning new jobs or restarting their careers. And we've heard many heartwarming stories of communities opening their arms to their new neighbors, showing them the best of American generosity and hospitality.
Within 6 months, Operation Allies Welcome Resettlement Team succeeded in resettling 70,000 people, the largest resettlement in American history. They helped countless families start new lives and create a new generation of Americans who will make our communities and our country better. I am proud to live in a country with real-life superheroes like Hillary Ingraham, Holly Herrera, Kira Burdener, and the Operation Allies Welcome Resettlement Team working for us. Congratulations and thank you for your work.
The bottom line for us is just that we, whether it's refugee resettlement, whether it's providing vaccines, whatever it may be, it is about that we are helping the citizens of the United States, whether they're new citizens or whether they were born and raised here.
Hey, it's Anderson Cooper. I just wanted to say congratulations to all the 2022 Sammys winners. The Partnership for Public Service does such great work, and all of you are really such an inspiration. And thank you for all you do for all of us. Congratulations.
At Lockheed Martin, our mission is to serve members of our federal workforce every day. So on behalf of our entire company, I want to congratulate this year's Sammy Award nominees and finalists and thank them for their service to America. To these honorees and our entire federal workforce, thank you for what you do and the sacrifices you make for our country.
Here we go, Sammys. This is what I'm talking about, okay? We got awards being given out, inspiring stories being told, actors getting to hang out in the glamorous world of government work. The only thing we're missing is a Science, Technology, and Environment Award, except we got that too. From Big Love and Once Upon a Time, here is Jennifer Goodwin to present the award.
If there's one thing we humans all share, it's a fear of ghosts. Where are they? What do they want? Are they watching us in the bathroom? But another thing we all share is the environment. We are all deeply affected by climate change in countless ways. No matter who you are or what you believe in, you are breathing the same air as everyone else on Earth. Unless, of course, you are a ghost, in which case, stop watching me. It's time for you to be at peace. Preserving the environment and mitigating climate change is vitally important to every single living thing on Earth, which is why I am so proud to present the Science, Technology, and Environment Medal to Cindy Newberg for her work doing just that.
This is important work that we're doing. It's important to our generation and generations to come, and so we have to get it right. We have to make sure that what we're doing sets us up to smoothly transition out of chemicals that are damaging to a fragile climate system. And anything we can do to help improve that is a positive impact on the environment.
Cindy has been working for the Environmental Protection Agency for almost 30 years, but she has devoted the last 10 years to one specific fight, taking down one of the biggest threats to our environment, hydrofluorocarbons, or HFCs.
There have been many different chemicals that have been used for cooling and providing these types of technologies. The first class of chemicals that we think of are HFCs. They were identified as transitional chemicals because they don't deplete the ozone layer, but they still have a significant impact on climate. It's important that we phase these down because a global phase down is estimated to reduce climate change by about 0.5 degree.
Cindy attacked HFCs from every angle, working with governments, industry, and environmental groups. She convinced countries around the world to reach an international agreement to phase down the use of HFCs, the Kigali Amendment to the Montreal Protocol. And she advised Congress on legislation to hold up our end of that agreement. She didn't pull any punches. We might all be scared of ghosts, but HFCs are scared of Cindy Newberg.
Cindy's work will lead us all to a healthier, brighter future, and we're so grateful for her exemplary leadership. As we work to fulfill EPA's mission to protect public health and the environment, people like Cindy demonstrate exactly what public service is all about: hard work, perseverance, and an unwavering commitment to improving people's lives.
I would just add that Cindy's work and that of her colleagues at EPA makes a big difference in everyone's life. You know, you will never notice the difference in the products that have the alternative chemicals in them. They will cool just as well as they did before, but without the damage to our climate. And that is a huge achievement.
The chemicals that we are transitioning out of, it's really great that you don't know that we've already transitioned out of a whole bunch of them. Since I started at EPA, the chemical cooling the car you drive has changed twice, and you probably didn't notice. Fire extinguishers have changed. The foams that are used to blow the cushioning in the seat you're sitting in or in the refrigerator door have all changed to better, more sustainable substances, and nobody noticed. So part of my job is to do things without anybody knowing that we did it.
Thank you, Cindy, for all of your amazing work, and congratulations on this well-deserved award.
Public service is an opportunity to give back to society and to work in a job you appreciate, on issues you are concerned about and care about, and make a difference. Watching these chemicals get phased down and seeing the ozone layer start to heal and have an opportunity now to address climate change using those same tools, you just don't get those opportunities anywhere else.
Hey there, I'm Adam Conover, and thank you and congratulations to all the Service to America Medals winners. You folks are truly inspiring. You show us what we can really do when we don't put profit or money first, but when we prioritize making America a better nation for all of us. It is so inspiring to see what true service can really do. I thank you for doing it, and congratulations.
The Spirit of Service Award honors someone from the private sector who has made significant contributions to public service. Award-winning actress Anna Javere-Smith sat down for an interview with this year's winner, Darren Walker, the president of the Ford Foundation.
Darren, at the center of what you've brought to Ford in particular is a commitment to social justice, and not just in looking at the symptoms of what's wrong when we don't have social justice, but really looking at the systematic problems. And so I thought you could talk a little bit, first of all, about that work and also what you've learned about it while putting so much effort towards it.
Well, thank you, Anna. It's an honor to be with you, even virtually. I love the Partnership for Public Service, because this institution is essential to America, to our democracy. It is a part of the system of our democracy that you refer to. Systems are how societies design the ways in which they live and function. And so at the Ford Foundation, we are focused on systems and the ways in which they are designed in our democracy to deliver on the promise of democracy. And we know from our history that they haven't always been designed to provide democracy and justice for all.
What are some of the key leadership qualities that you feel are needed right now, both in government and in philanthropy?
Humility, curiosity, a willingness to listen, a belief that others may have the answers you are looking for, and a willingness to meet them where they are. I think having a respect for the idea of dignity for all, that every voice does matter. It doesn't mean that every voice ultimately determines exactly the policy or the outcome, but it does mean that every voice participates. Public service is the highest calling in our land, and yet we have allowed the idea of public service to be degraded, to be demonized even. The idea of working for the government. In my mind, there is no higher calling than being called to serve our nation through government. And I think we've got work to do to elevate that idea and center it in its proper place in the firmament of careers, of professions, of the ways in which we can contribute to making our country stronger.
And, you know, of course, one of what's so refreshing and I think hopeful about the Partnership for Public Service is its belief in government. And yet trust in government has declined. I mean, let's just think about in your lifetime and think about, you know, your origin story of how much Head Start meant to you and what a difference it made in your life. And of course, that was a project that the government helped facilitate. What do we do to try to enrich trust in government right now?
Well, I think we've got to demonstrate the good things that government does. And I don't think we do a good enough job of that. And it's one of the reasons why the Partnership for Public Service is so important, because this is one of their highest priorities. The very idea of government, unfortunately, has become an anathema to some in our country. And this is a newer phenomenon. We've certainly had anti-government people a part of our history, but in more recent times and with the growth of social media, it's gained currency. It's become de rigueur in certain segments of our society to knock government and to blame government for things that government actually has very little to do with. And also, very importantly, to not acknowledge government.
And what are some of the yet unrealized pockets of possibility between government and philanthropy from where you sit? What else could happen?
I think there's a very important role for government and philanthropy together to play. In recent years, we have done enough partnership around innovation. I think we have worked on funding lots of projects and funding initiatives. But I really do think that we need to be more systematic about the innovations that are needed to solve our problems today and into the future.
Perhaps we can close with a message to younger people who are sitting on the fence about whether or not they want to go into public service. What would you say to inspire younger, talented people, but also like kids in high school who wouldn't even be thinking about this? They're just trying to think about how to get to high school safely. What would you say to help bring them into the mix, to help them come into the exciting work of making democracy what it can be?
I would say that one of the challenges young people face today is finding meaning in the world and in their lives, because there is so much around them that is discouraging, that does not lift them up. And there is no greater meaning in a democracy than service. There can't be a greater calling, a more necessary and essential part of your life's journey. And so I would just hope that young people would feel a calling to want to help this nation, to heal this nation, to bring us together and find ways to build bridges rather than walls.
And Darren, you've just done a wonderful job at describing and defining what the spirit of service is. Congratulations on the Spirit of Service Award. Thank you for all you do.
Hi, everyone. Let me thank the Sammys for honoring a group of terrific public servants tonight. And I'm glad to join you in congratulating the very deserving recipient of this year's Spirit of Service Award, my friend, the extraordinary Darren Walker. Darren really has an amazing life story, going from small-town Texas to the global stage. I've known him for a long time. He's creative, he's tireless, he's a dynamo who sets the highest standards, and he builds outstanding teams. He's a problem solver with a gift for bridging divides and bringing out the best in people. And that's made him a force both in civic and nonprofit communities, and in the world of philanthropy as well. I'm also lucky to say Darren works closely with us at Bloomberg Philanthropies, and he really personifies the spirit of service and partnership that you're celebrating tonight. So thank you, everyone. And from all your fans on the Bloomberg team, especially me, congratulations, Darren. You're the best.
What would the Sammys be without the Paul A. Volcker Career Achievement Award? I know you guys love it. We always have tons of Volcker heads in the crowd, but don't get too rowdy this year. No crowd surfing during the award presentation. Save it for the after party. For now, give it up for your presenter from Superstore and Crazy Rich Asians. It's Nico Santos.
Career achievement can mean a lot of different things to different people. But for Dr. Cliff Lane, it has meant fighting some of the most devastating diseases the world has encountered during his 42-year career with the National Institutes of Health. From his research on HIV, to combating Ebola, to creating treatment guidelines for COVID-19, Cliff's work has saved countless lives all over the globe. So I am honored to present Cliff Lane with the Paul A. Volcker Career Achievement Medal.
Cliff has emerged as one of the most extraordinary, outstanding, and contributory physician scientists in the field. He has set the standard for the excellence of the design and the implementation of clinically, scientifically, and ethically sound clinical trials. So when you talk about who the ideal public servant is, I mean, just take a look at Cliff Lane's life, and it's almost like, you know, you open up the dictionary, public service, and you see Cliff's picture there.
One of the most impressive things about Cliff is the way he forges relationships and advocates for the people his work affects. Whether he's working on projects here at home or overseas, Cliff is deeply invested in the people working alongside him and the people he's working for.
You know, you have to, on your high school yearbook, say sort of what your goals are. So my goal was to identify a new disease and figure out ways to manage it or deal with it. I don't remember exactly what I said. So this is sort of something I've always had an interest in and, I have a passion for. So I came to the NIH in 1979, and I came to the NIH because I wanted to study infectious diseases. If you really want to make a difference, the NIH was actually one of the few places in the country where that was possible.
Ebola is only one of the scary diseases Cliff has gone up against. Seriously, if there is a disease that has terrorized the world, Cliff has done serious battle with it. But Cliff is more than a fighter. The heart of his work is really about caring for people and making a difference in their lives.
So I came to the NIH, but then, within a year or two of me being there, the first reports of what became known as HIV/AIDS started to surface. And given that this was the NIH, patients were admitted under protocols to study the disease. The patients would come in, we would see them. We could maybe do a little bit for whatever infection or cancer they might have had at the moment, but we couldn't do anything at that time to the underlying immune defect, and basically everybody went on to die. It was an unbelievably tragic time, while at the same time, it was one of those opportunities for which there could be an enormous public health impact. And so we brought in patients, we studied them, we treated their infections, and we tried a variety of ways to work on their immune systems. That was the first of a series of drugs that led to where we are today with, close to normal life expectancies for patients because of the very effective antiviral drugs.
With the skills and experience that he has, Cliff could have gone into a number of different fields in the private sector, but he didn't. For over 4 decades, his heart has belonged to public service, and we are all better for it. I cannot express how grateful I am for all the work Dr. Lane has done for the world. So congratulations on this well-deserved award.
The best part of my career is the people I get to work with. I work with an unbelievable group of people at the NIH who will drop everything they're doing, at a moment's notice to get on a plane and fly to South Africa to take care of HIV, or fly to Liberia to deal with Ebola. One of the great things about working at NIH is you're aligned with a mission, you're held accountable for accomplishing that mission. I think the work that we do, that NIH does, affects an enormous number of people.
Sammy's winners represent what makes this country great. For an Olympic athlete, representing your country is the honor of a lifetime. You all are serving our country every day, and we're so grateful for everything you do. So thank you for all of your hard work and for reminding us why we're so proud to compete for our country. Here's to all of you.
Obviously, we wanted to include some presenters with experience working in government. But the closest we could get was a presenter with experience acting in Veep on HBO, which I've heard is pretty accurate. Here's Tony Hale.
So 2 of the most important elements of any relationship, I'd say, would be trust and communication. Another one is how you feel about olives. Do you like them or do you not? But today, I'm going to focus on trust and communication. Barbara Morton has spent almost a decade trying to repair the relationship between the Department of Veteran Affairs and the 9 million veterans they serve. She does this by focusing on clear communication and rebuilding trust. And I am so happy to present her with this year's Management Excellence Medal.
I think what excites me the most about working for VA and government is the positive impact to the greater good that I as an individual can hopefully make, but also as a collective part of a team of wonderful public servants at the Department of Veterans Affairs and also brothers and sisters in different agencies. And so this award for me is really an honor to receive on behalf of all of those public servants.
When Barbara Morton joined the Veterans Experience Office 8 years ago, long wait times and confusion, that was the norm. And we all know how incredibly frustrating it is to ask for help and then be put on hold. Shout out to my local cable provider. I'm not mad at you, I'm just incredibly disappointed. But just think, how much higher are the stakes when asking the VA for help after devoting your life to defending our country? And that's why Barbara and her team have devoted their work to making sure every interaction with the VA leaves veterans and their families feeling valued and understood.
More than 16 years ago, I was an attorney at a group that adjudicated appeals for veterans' claims that had been denied. And so I had an up-close and personal seat at the table to see veterans sort of try to navigate their way through a very complex legal system. And so that really led me to think about, how might we be able to build trust and better experiences with veterans who are having difficulty navigating this giant bureaucracy. And so we really try to help veterans understand what services and benefits are available to them. But back in 2018, we were hearing from veterans, I want to transact with the Department of Veterans Affairs. I don't know where to go. I don't know which website it should be. We're talking to veterans and asked them, which one of these web properties would you naturally gravitate towards? And they came back to us and they said va.gov. We also redesigned that website, co-designed it with veterans to have their top transactions, most important transactions right up front, personal login, they can update their address in one place, have it propagate across multiple systems, things that we are so used to in our real worlds outside of government, but that veterans really needed and demanded from us that we were able to deliver.
But here's the kicker. Barbara and her team didn't just say, okay, got it. Here's a website. You guys take it from here. No. They kept talking to the people that rely on them. And they implemented the VA Trust Report, which annually surveys 1.1 million veterans about their interactions with the VA.
Together, they increased the veterans' trust in the VA to an outstanding all-time high. Barbara is the consummate civil servant, and the country is fortunate to have her example of selfless service to those who have served us all.
Barbara helps make sure we're not just talking the talk, but walking the walk when it comes to serving vets well, so they're honored, valued, and have the very best customer experience we can give them.
After everything that our veterans have given to us, it is so good to know that they have Barbara and her team listening to them and constantly thinking of new ways to connect to them and offer meaningful support. So congratulations to you, Barbara, for all of your amazing, amazing work.
Public service to me means serving a cause greater than myself. And that has been my passion. I've always wanted to be in public service. I love this country. I love our democracy. I love our Constitution. And I just want to do what I can from my small corner of the world to live those ideals about a government for the people, by the people.
Hey everybody, it's Andy Cohen here, congratulating the winners of the 2022 Sammy Awards. You guys are our hope for the future. Thanks for everything you're doing and congratulations.
I can't believe we've gotten this far in the show and we still haven't mentioned the People's Choice Award winner. Your people, this is your award. To tell you more about it, here is Anthony Hill from Grey's Anatomy.
Long before I played a doctor on TV, I was a kid who loved reading. It was always an escape for me, a way to learn about the world and different cultures. Plus, reading kept me company. It introduced me to characters and people that made me feel less alone in the world. And I can't imagine growing up without it. But currently, worldwide, less than 3% of children and youth with disabilities can read. But luckily, Josh Josa is working to change that. As an inclusive education specialist at the U.S. Agency for International Development, Josh is working with communities, organizations, and governments all over the world to create programs to deliver quality, equitable, and inclusive education to all children and youth. As a third-generation deaf person and a first-generation Hungarian American, Josh understands the challenges of learning in different ways and languages and knows what kind of support these kids need. Because of Josh's work, tens of thousands of kids around the world are in school today who otherwise would not be. So thank you and congratulations to this year's People's Choice Award winner, Josh Josa.
Congratulations to our colleague, our friend, inclusive education specialist, Josh Josa, who has won the Samuel J. Heyman Service to America Medals People's Choice Award. Josh deserves this award. He is an exceptional public servant who has dedicated his career to ensuring children with disabilities in developing countries get the accessible, high quality, and equitable education that they deserve. His work reaches children in more than 50 countries. Congratulations, Josh. We are so grateful, so fortunate to have you on our team.
Thank you for making America more safe, equitable, and healthier. I mean, seriously, no one in this room is quietly quitting. You all are making us look bad. Stop. Just do what you normally do, but just bring it down to 75 because we can't keep up with you.
We have met so many fascinating and inspiring people tonight, and we still have one more award. Here to present the Federal Employee of the Year Medal from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, it's Giancarlo Esposito.
Unless you spent this past summer living under a rock, you saw the amazing images of space taken by NASA's James Webb Telescope. You know the ones I mean. Full of billions of stars and galaxies. They made you feel grateful to be alive, but also terrified by the vastness of the universe. Sort of looked like the VIP section of a disco, right? Those photos, well, they were just the beginning of the remarkable work scientists will be able to do with the James Webb Telescope. And we never would have gotten here without 2022's Federal Employee of the Year, Gregory Robinson.
So I grew up as a nerd, but not a science nerd, or certainly not a space nerd.
Greg Robinson is not an astronaut. He's never been to space. He owns no spacesuits, moon rocks, or secret alien technology, as far as we know. So how did he get to be the hero of one of the most important space exploration projects of our time? By being a remarkable leader.
So in early 2018, my boss, Thomas Zabukin, came to me and said, hey, we need some help. Really like it if you would take over this program as program director. So I decided to take it. Of course, my job was kind of multiple things, but primarily to get it over the goal line. The spacecraft, including that sun shield, were still coming together. We were getting close, but just ran into various types of issues. And for these big missions like Webb, little problems just cost a lot of time. And of course, time is money.
By the time Greg joined the project, a lot of people had actually given up on it. It was years behind schedule and way over budget. Not only did he have to figure out how to technically get to launch, but he had to make people believe in the project again. He did that by listening and being honest. As it turns out, you have to be deeply human to get to outer space.
When Greg started on this project, it was in deep trouble and we had a major deficit of trust. What we needed from Greg is his unique combination of caring about people, but also having the ability of planting his feet and making hard decisions that are required to achieve success. He's a football player. I hope somebody gets the idea.
If you look at the scale and scope of Webb, more than 10,000 people worked on this around the globe. That's a big number. Of course, $10 billion is a big number. So everything I'm saying is unprecedented.
It's clear. Greg is everything a public servant and a leader should be. And the proof's in the pudding, because this telescope will give humanity a new view of the cosmos, and it will fundamentally alter our understanding of the universe.
The impact of the Webb telescope has the potential to make on our understanding of the universe is huge. It has 100 times the sensitivity of the Hubble telescope and could allow us to look into the very beginning of the universe when galaxies were forming. Don't think too hard about that, or it might just break your brain. Just trust me, it's tremendous.
We have 10 new technologies, never flown before, some cases never even developed before. That's like no other. Currently, we know the amazing capability that we built it for, it will do, and maybe even more. So that's the good news to date. I think what it's going to produce over the next several years, and probably just this first year of Cycle 1 science, it's going to be amazing. Things that certainly scientists think of and thought of, and many things that we've never thought of.
Greg has proven that you don't need to know how to pilot a spaceship to be on the forefront of intergalactic exploration, which, as an actor, I personally find thrilling. There is very little physics training in dramas, so I thought that spaceship had sailed for me, but maybe I've still got a shot.
The place for government is really to make the country sustainable and better, and make citizens' lives sustainable and better. And working in government, you can have that kind of broad impact. Certainly, building a large telescope like Webb and launching it in the science is important, and that really thrills me. It doesn't get any better than that.
Greg Robinson, thank you so much for your thoughtful, devoted leadership. You've literally changed the world and given the universe to all of us.
I'm NASA astronaut Jessica Watkins, coming to you from aboard the International Space Station. Congratulations to NASA's Greg Robinson, the 2022 Service to America Medals Federal Employee of the Year. We have a pretty awesome view from up here, but even we can't help but be impressed by the beauty and wonder of the James Webb Space Telescope's first pictures. None of what NASA does on the ground or in space would be possible without the incredible efforts of dedicated people like you. All the research and exploration we endeavor to accomplish starts with strong management and leadership. So thank you for all that you've done. Webb is truly one of the greatest advances in space science ever. You and the whole Webb team are helping us see the universe in a whole new light that just so happens to be 13 billion years old. All of us in the NASA family are so proud of your accomplishments. Many congratulations on your success from all of us here on the ISS.
Congratulations to the Service to America Medal winners. The work that you do impacts us so greatly. You keep us safer, you keep us healthier, you protect our environment, and you expand our horizons. We are grateful, we are appreciative, and we are supportive. And frankly, you deserve more than that. So we want to say thank you today. And I want to say thank you for choosing service. It means the world.
Congratulations to all of the winners and finalists. Thank you for inspiring us and improving our lives in so many ways. Thank you to the Partnership for Public Service for shining a light on these unsung heroes. And thank you to our sponsors for keeping the lights on through all of it. If you would like to learn more about the Partnership for Public Service or how to get involved or donate, please visit ourpublicservice.org. And remember, nominations are now open for the 2023 Sammys. Good night, everyone.
Hello, I'm Victor Garber, and I want to express my heartfelt thanks to the 2022 Service to America Medals winners. You impact our lives in so many ways. During these extremely difficult times, you show us what selfless service really looks like. We are indebted to you. You motivate us, you inspire us, and we are truly grateful. Thank you.
You want to talk about selfless service? Well, that's you. Look at each other, because each one of you are not in it for the fame and the fortune. You're in it to make people's lives better. I mean, I wish I could say the same thing. I like the fame and the fortune part, but that's just me.
Thank you, and congratulations to all of the Sammy winners. Your work, your incredibly dedicated, important work has changed the lives of so many around the world. And especially in these past few years, you know, many of us wouldn't be alive without you. I appreciate you, I understand you, and I can tell you that it's been my privilege to meet and work with so many of you.
Thank you for making America safe, prosperous, healthy, and more equitable. Congratulations on being Sammy's winners.
The honorees are selected for their outstanding contributions to the health, safety, and security of our nation, as well as their abilities to overcome barriers to achieve outstanding results for the public.
Thank you, and congratulations. You represent everything that's the best about our country. You make our lives better, you make our world better, and you should feel very proud of yourself, because I'm very proud of you. So congratulations, and I just think you're great.
The work that you do
makes our country and our lives a little bit better every day. And I am so proud and honored to celebrate all that you do for us. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.